So you are now repped by CAA, yeah?
Yeah.
So is that something you get right away when you become an editor? Do you get reps as an editor?
No, I didn't. I had them very briefly, and for me, I got...
You had reps as an editor
Yeah,
briefly.
I got repped as an editor for like a moment in time. My rep was super nice, but he would be like, do you want to leave Modern Family and do this? This is before I was directing. So he'd be like, do you want to leave Modern Family and do this like indie feature? Or do you want to go
No.
cut this movie? And I'm like...
No,
I'm going to be a director because I'm on Modern Family.
Right.
And then I realized quickly, like, I'm wasting this guy's time. And so I fired the rep.
Do editors normally have reps, though?
A lot of them do. If
Okay.
if that's what they want to do, it's a smart idea.
Okay.
I also didn't want to share my editor money. You know?
Yeah, that
So
makes sense, 'cause
I
it's
don't
not
wanna-
as-
Yeah. And I was getting jobs through the people that I knew and stuff. Just I was lucky enough to be doing that. But
Right.
I think they could be great for people that's what they're doing. But I was literally like on the show that was going to make me a director. I'm
Right.
like, I can't leave.
Right.
And you only get the summer off. So he'd be like, oh, go do this movie. I'm like, then I can't come back next season, and then I can't be a director.
Right. So how do you pivot into directing? What's your plan? This entire run, are you like, I don't want to say nagging, but are you like putting it out there that
Oh, yeah.
this is something you want to do and stuff?
Yeah, from the day one, I was just like made it known. And there's the line producer and the executive producers. I would always just let them know that's what I wanted to do. And, I'd be in the editing room with producers and writers all
Right.
the time. So I'd be like, that we'd have a scene. They'd be like, why isn't this scene working? And I'd be like, well, and it's not like I would say like this director, but I would just be like, oh, well, maybe they could have gotten the shot. I would think if something wasn't working or something was working, I'd think, why is this working or why is this not working?
Yeah.
And it would teach me a lot. And I would also make sure that like I knew what they wanted and what they weren't getting. So I could like, when I was doing it, I could do it.
Right.
Like mentally I was preparing.
Right.
I also would just talk to them about how I wanted to do it. And I would talk to the line producer about how I wanted
Yeah,
to
just
do
being open
it.
about
Yeah.
it.
And
Don't dance around it.
and eventually, and then I had to wait for him to like open it up because other people wanted to do it too. Our
Of course.
ADs both wanted to do it, and me, and our DP also. So
It was a long line.
yeah. So in season 4, we all started to do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that was just something that like the producers were like, let's open this up to people in house and
I mean,
see what they can do.
it wasn't that easy. I had to get like, I got like both executive producers on board, the cast to get behind me, like Ty and Julie, and like I got people to speak on my behalf. So, to endorse me because it's very scary.
Who's
for them to, like,
hesitant about it? Was it the network that's
Well,
hesitant?
there's like millions of dollars in the line,
Right.
and
So is it the
everybody's-
network specifically?
It was just like within the show. I think it's just like, oh, the editor wants to direct. She's never done this.
Right.
It's this big show. It's scary for people. But I had to just be like, I will do a good job,
Right.
and you will see.
Right. So it finally happened in season 4.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah.
How was that first experience?
amazing. It was crazy because it was terrifying too. But I had great mentors. So I had Fred Savage, I mentioned, who was so sweet.
Right.
Took me on my first tech scout and casting.
Sure.
He was very like open and like friendly and let me come along to a bunch of stuff so I could like see what that looked like.
Yeah.
I'd never been in a tech scout. I'd never been on a.
So basically you shadowed him before
Yeah, I
you did
shadowed
it.
him. I also shadowed Gail Mancuso and Beth McCarthy Miller,
Oh,
who
wow.
are two amazing directors who've been doing it forever.
Right.
And they both have very different approaches and styles, and so I love seeing what works for her and what works for her.
Right.
And, like, Gail was so sweet. I remember I was really nervous before I did my first episode, and she like met me on the set on a Saturday, and like stood in the kitchen of the Dunphy house with me and helped me like. I told her what my blocking was, and she's like, okay, when you're blocking, make sure you do this, that, and the other.
Right.
So I had some really great people helping me.
Yeah.
I had edited a bunch of episodes for them. So
That's
it was like
awesome.
a nice
Yeah.
bond.
And that's something I didn't think of. Modern Family shot a bunch of different places, right? It's not just in a
my
studio.
first episode I had
So that's got to be kind of
a
stressful.
hospital location, a prep school location. I had a lot of locations. It was mostly locations.
Wow,
on my
that's a lot
first
to take
episode.
in.
I remember the first week I was ever directing, I was doing this prep school. Like Manny was touring a prep school
Right.
with Ed O'Neill, and it was this like really nice area up in Bel Air,
Right.
And they wouldn't let you in. Trucks couldn't go up to location until
Oh, geez.
7 or whatever.
Oh.
So I'm sitting in my car waiting at the edge
Yeah.
of the line. And then I'm just like sitting there like texting my mom like I'm nervous or whatever I was doing, listening to music, I'm sure. And then I see in my rearview mirror all these trucks, white trucks just coming over the hill, and then it hit me like they're all coming because I chose this location and we're going up there. And we're going to shoot a scene for a television show. Like it just was so trippy,
Surreal, I
Yeah,
bet.
yeah. And it was misty,
Ooh.
and I was like, "What is happening?" It was really fun. It was like exciting and scary.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a feeling you probably never have again, probably.
No,
That's amazing.
thank God, because I want to throw up.